morning. Well, at least it's morning here. Heading down the island right now. TJ plowed up the last field, that 6-acre field along the road there. Plowed that up yesterday. I believe he got the drags, like eyelets screwed into the drags so we can hook them up to the disc harrows. Got a line of cars behind me. I'm towing the corn planter. So I'm sure they're all thrilled, but it's what it is. Should probably pull over and let them out, let them go. But the plan today is because he was able to finish up plowing, at least I believe he finished plowing. I'm gonna go in there and disc everything up today, get all that done. Tomorrow, we're gonna put fertilizer down. We're gonna throw pelletized lime down with that as well. And then I will follow behind him with a disc, incorporate all that into the soil. And then Monday, Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, TJ's gonna come in after work and start seeding all the fields in. So hopefully if everything goes to plan, we'll have all the hayfields seeded in by the middle of this upcoming week. Pretty late. Should have had this all done in May, but it's kind of the way the weather was. We really couldn't get into the fields. And then the plan is, once that's taken care of, if the field is dry enough, we're going to try to get into the cornfield, plow that up, and hopefully put seed in the ground maybe this week too, next weekend. Seed came in, it's at TJ's house. Like I said before, it's a 5-acre field, but depending on how wet it is, probably want to end up planting that upper half of the field away from the road. And we'll go from there. Maybe we'll luck out, maybe it'll dry a little better, and we'll get a little more planted, but from what I can tell right now, it's going to be just that upper half. So I'll see you when you get down to the field. All right, so as you can see, he ended up plowing this small field here. We park all the equipment. So that's good news. He also, we weren't totally sure where the trail was around a couple of those fields. So we left a pretty good buffer around the perimeter of all of them. And then a friend of ours who was on the town council came by and said, no, you actually don't need to leave the buffer here and here. So he went ahead and plowed all that under. So I'm gonna disc this whole field up right here, and I'll go into those other 2 fields and touch up where he ran the plow across, and then I'll get that big field going. Figured I'd show you guys what we're working with here. This is his 2440 deer. He's got the brush hog on. He hit the brush hog that bigger field because the weeds were just getting too tall. We use this for hay a lot too. Usually we're mowing with this tractor. 966 4-wheel drive. Talked about this briefly in one of the other videos. It's got the 466 in it. 3-bottom moldboard plow. This thing's a sweetheart though. He did a lot of work to this one. And then he's got his disc over here. It's also a 10-footer. We bought this. Shouldn't say we. He bought this out of New York at McFadden's, one of the McFadden's auctions. Super, super nice Oliver disc. It's a little light, so you got to hit the ground a couple times, but super nice 241 Oliver disc, 10-footer. So we got the drag harrow, or the drags for the harrows back there. So I'm gonna run this over without the harrows, or without the drag, because I have run into issues before where you have the drag on the back of the disc and it's so rough it won't rip it off the disc, but it's just bouncing everywhere. So you're better off hitting it the first time, and then tomorrow when I fall behind him when he's putting the fertilizer down, we'll hook the telephone poles up to the backs and we'll run those and smooth it out real nice. So let's get going. All right, so that was pretty quick and easy. That was just a time lapse of this, and it was 15 minutes start to finish getting this field done. And this actually, it's definitely dry enough, because I thought, you know, the furrows left by the moldboard, I thought I was gonna, I mean, it's kind of soddy a little bit, and I thought it was gonna fight me, but I mean, it broke this right down. No rocks in here. I mean, there's that monster rock right there, but we won't talk about that. And I mean, it disced up super, super nice. So I'm pretty pleased with this field. Hopefully the next couple that I do are gonna be just as nice going through it. So I'm in the next field here over, that's the field I just came out of over there, that little field. I was originally just gonna disc up that perimeter all the way around there to right there, because that's what I was talking about, how we thought there was a path there and it's not, so we were allowed to basically plow right up to the brush line. So I was gonna disc all that up, but looking around at the field here, we got some weeds. I mean, it's been a while since we plowed this, a couple weeks. We got some weeds coming up now. Because this is town property, they don't want us using like herbicides or pesticides or anything like that, so I can't put a burn down, you know, herbicide on this. So I'm gonna hit it again with a disc real quick just to knock all this down, because obviously if we put the fertilizer down tomorrow, the weeds are just gonna thrive, so we don't want that in the hayfield. So I'm gonna knock all this down again. We had to do this once already with that field in the far corner over there, that I believe it's a 5-acre field in the corner. The next field over, I disced that a couple weeks ago. There's no weeds coming up yet, but I also kind of have to do a couple more passes there where it was all wet. So that doesn't really matter anyway, but I'm gonna knock all this down real quick, and then because I'd already disced it once, I bet you I can probably fly through this pretty quick, so we will see. All right, pulled over, fueled her up, and then greased up the disc. She's got just about a full tank now. It was like 3/4 of the way full, put 10 gallons in it. So this field back here is a big one. That's what TJ plowed up. So I'm gonna go get the one behind that next and just get the spot that I couldn't get last time because it was too wet. And I'll hit the spots where he plowed under, and then we're gonna start in this the 6-acre field right here. Let's get it. So this is that one spot in the field I couldn't touch last time I came in here to disc. So I pretty much got up to that dark line of the field right there. I gotta hit from there up. What I'm hitting right now is what TJ just plowed under. He went all the way around the edge of the field. I'm trying to get as close as I can to fill that furrow in. Kind of a pain in the ass, but it doesn't really fill it in too well. You gotta hit it a few times. If we run the drag over it tomorrow, it'll probably fill in a little easier than what I'm trying to do right now. Right about here is where I'm gonna, and see where it's all wet. This is where I buried the tractor last time. So I'm gonna go from here over, and we'll just disc all this up. Luckily this field here, from it sitting with all that rain, no weeds or anything like that. You know, a couple spots coming up, but nothing crazy. So I don't have to disc this field again. I did talk to TJ though, and the field that he disced over, because the weeds were coming up last week, he asked if I could get that corner, I guess that wet spot where I was in far corner. I almost take the tractor when I was in that field. So he said it should be dried enough now, so I'm gonna go hit that again real quick. Get that taken care of. So let's see how we make out. So about 3/4 split down the field, pretty much where I got stuck last time. Still a little tacky because I got into it, the wheel started slipping pretty good. It looks dry, but beneath that surface it's still a little on the wet side, but we're able to truck through it, so we're gonna keep going on it. Right there, you see that dark spot where I got stuck last time I was in here. See you right here. Yeah, she's already wheel spinning. She's going through it, but a little wetter than I thought it was gonna be. Obviously it's not that bad because I don't have to raise the disc up going through it, so just making it work a little bit. Alright, so this is the first field that we plowed under. So TJ came out here when would have been last week, I think it was, and it was starting to get weedy like that other field that just hit. So he disced this all up himself. It still looks good from when he hit it. And then in front of me here, and pretty much the entire perimeter of this field, he took that, what we thought was that path out. So I'm just gonna run the disc pretty much around the perimeter here. And that far corner over there where it's all green, that's all that grass that when I went to go harrow all this under, I almost buried the tractor over there. It's a real bad wet spot. I'm gonna try to disc that up, but being that there's so much grass over there, I don't think it's gonna do much. Plus it's usually pretty wet back there, so even if we do disc it all under and seed it, it's probably not gonna amount to too much, but I'm gonna hit it anyway. So we'll see how we make out here, but coming along pretty well. This has been pretty smooth sailing so far. I think hoping I'll get that the big field up by the road finished up tonight, and then we'll be good to go for tomorrow. Start throwing fertilizer down. Good spot. I just came around this corner here, and this field is super wet, just like I kind of thought it would be. Almost sank it right there in that corner. pulled the disc up, made it through. It's just standing water all right there. So I'm gonna get as close to that as I can. I mean, this is tillable all right here, but it's also getting pretty green. So I'm gonna get as much of this knocked out as I can so that it's not here when we go to seed, put fertilizer down, because I don't want it absorbing any of that. So I'll see what I can do with this, but it's pretty damn wet. You can kind of see the color change. It's real dry over there, and then this corner right here, this is all pretty soupy. So see what I can do. Alright, so we're getting somewhere here. The further up I go, the drier it gets. Not gonna touch that corner over there, that's all standing water. Not worth it. I got the outer perimeter disced up pretty good. There was a huge rock over there. I can see where the tire tracks are. TJ must have gone down with the 2440 and picked that rock out of there. So I'm gonna hit that, and then I'm just taking a couple passes down the center here. A couple spots where the weeds are growing up. Nothing crazy at all. We can honestly leave them, but it just makes sense if I gotta go this way anyway after I hit that corner back there. Just do a loop and come back and hit all that. So we're making progress here. Might be into this field for another maybe 10 minutes or so, and then move on to that wheat field. Get going on that. That's gonna probably take up the rest of the day. Definitely making progress. I just stopped and grabbed lunch. Been trucking away. Haven't recorded too much because my phone was dying, so I was plugged in the truck. But from here to that tree line there is all I got left on this side, and then I've probably got maybe 10 passes here, I would say. Actually, not even. I bet you I got probably 5 or 6 passes left right here, so we're gaining on it. Greased everything up. I welded this disc right here, and you know what? I thought the weld broke, but it didn't. So I guess that's all right. But greased everything up. Everything looks good. Tractor's running fine. So doing good so far. Don't have too much left to do. Man, this field's taking a lot out of me though. It's a long field, and that's kicked my ass. But hopefully tomorrow, like I said, you gotta go slow when you're going over plowed up ground like this. I did that far field over there with all the weeds in it, and I bet you 25 minutes. So tomorrow, when I'm following TJ with the disc, following him behind the fertilizer spreader, I'll probably be able to cook along pretty good at a good clip. So I probably get out of here till 5 o'clock. I bet you could put in a full day. Probably get out of here about 2 o'clock, I would say. Then go like check out that cornfield. I bought a soil test kit, so I'm gonna check that out and see what that property needs. And guy at the road, he's got the fertilizer I can buy. Fertilizer in mine, plus whatever we have left over from the field, so I can fertilize the cornfield. But it'd be nice to know what that needs, because I haven't been working on that time. But it's sour. So we'll keep going on it. It must have been pretty wet here when he was plowing, because the plow went quite a bit deeper here than it did over there, and I can tell because what got rolled over is pretty thick, so not so much right now, but past the disc riding on top of that burrow, and I had to go over it a few times to get it knocked down. But you look over on that side, it's a little more smoothed out than right here. You can tell how soggy funny the ground is. It hasn't worked in a long time. I felt bad for the guy over there. He tried to enjoy his pool. And I was doing all the passes right by his house, blowing, you know, friggin' blowing dust all his way. So he's probably not too happy with me, but it is what it is. Get down there. This section right here. Done with tillage. Man, I gotta tell you, I've never done tillage work with a open cab tractor before, and it's always been like at Escobar's. We got like a 5088 International or like the Magnum or something, choking on dust all day. Stupid thing to complain about, but so here's the drags here. I'm gonna hook this up to my tractor tonight. He's gonna hook his up to his disc tomorrow when he finishes up fertilizing. He's probably gonna end up joining me, so we can get two fields going in one shot. So he's already got the. Thought he had two sets of chains, but I guess not for this one here. But so I'm gonna hook this up to my disc, and then maybe I'll try it out over here, see how she works, and then I'm gonna head home. So I made a couple passes in this field here with drag on it, and it worked pretty well. I mean, it made those two passes right there. It's pretty smooth. But I'm gonna probably have to cut this down. This pole is cut to 14 feet. Couple problems with that. One, I noticed in the field that like after the first foot of overhang, both ends aren't even touching the ground, so it's kind of pointless to have them there, especially when getting to like this field over here, that little pathway there and the pathway over there. I'm not sure about those ones. I think I have enough clearance there, but it's gonna be too wide. And what I've always done too is like once I have this on here, I usually never take it off. I just leave it on the disc. Like I'll pick it up or whatever and throw it up on top when I'm going down the road or whatever. But 14 feet is just gonna be too much to handle, I think. So I think tomorrow I'll bring my chainsaw down and just chop a foot off at each side and make it a little more manageable. But I think it'll work pretty well. I wish that I had the disc all the way down on the ground when I chained this up, and I wish I could get it just a little bit tighter, because when the harrows are up, you're still dragging this, and I'd like to have it up off the ground so you're not dragging mud like dirt when you're just, you know, putting along the field or whatever, trying to go on to the next one. So I think tomorrow when I have TJ here, I'll have him pick up one end and we'll tighten the chain up and then do the same on the other side. That way there it's up a little bit and I'm not dragging it everywhere. So, but all in all, it's a successful day, I would say. No problems with the tractor or the disc, so that's good. Running good. She needs a bath in the worst way. But yeah, hopefully next year I'll have a cab tractor, hopefully. I was looking for a while at like I was looking at a couple 1955. There was that one at the There's that one at the auction I was looking at a while back. If I could find a cheaper one, I'd probably go with that, or even like a white Field Boss white or something. Or I almost traded this tractor for a 1086 at one point. The guy who I used to lease hay ground from a couple years back, actually we leased from him last year too, but he had a 1086 and he got a hold of me back in like November to see if I wanted it. He was selling it and I didn't have the money at the time, but the year before that he was kind of interested in trading that for this. He had a big John Deere, didn't need two big tractors, so he was looking for something a little bit smaller, and he was kind of interested in this. I don't remember what happened. It just never worked out. So that's that. I guess make the long walk back to the truck, and hopefully tomorrow we get all this taken care of, and then TJ can plant after work Monday and Tuesday. But that's gonna be it. So thanks for watching. See you on the next one.